Hey, do you ever find yourself craving sweet snacks like lollies, cookies, donuts, or even cake? If you do, you're not alone, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about sugar cravings, how they affect your brain, and ways you can start to wean away from the sweet stuff. But before I get into that, let me introduce myself. I'm Dean Martin from Enlightened PT, and I help people become fit, healthy, and strong for their everyday activities. So let's talk about sugar, eh? Just to be clear, I'm talking about foods with added sugar like sweet drinks, baked treats, prepared foods like breakfast cereals, ice creams, and things like lollies. This video is not about foods with natural sugar like fruit, but let me ask you a quick question. Do you ever start the day off with a little sugar in your coffee or maybe your tea, or have cereal or other quick breakfasts like bagels or muffins or things like that? If you do, that basically sets you up for a sugar craving cycle that will last all day. So here's something you should know. Sugar lights up the same feedback loops in your brain as addictive drugs like cocaine. When you eat sugar, you literally get a shot of dopamine and other feel-good hormones, and that can make you crave even more. And over time, you can lose track of how much sugar you actually take in during the course of the day. The problem with that is added sugar does pretty much nothing for you nutritionally except give you a quick fuel that actually ends up making you feel more tired and craving more of it. You can end up in a cycle of eating sugar which raises your blood sugar levels, so your body has to send out insulin to metabolize it. And that leaves you with lower blood sugar, which makes you tired and craving even more sugar. Over time, this can add up to major health problems like insulin resistance, metabolic disease, inflammation, diabetes, and a higher risk of all these other diseases. So, I always say sugar likes to party. If you invite it into your body, it's going to want to bring along more of their sweet friends from the bad side of town. And before you know it, they will trash the place and you'll end up feeling awful. Because sugar craves sugar. Have you ever felt a sugar hangover after eating something like a cake or maybe lollies? It's absolutely no joke. You feel tired, cranky, shaky, and some people even say they notice their joints ache if they eat too much. So give me a like or a love if you have felt any of those things before. One way you know you might want to consider cutting back on your sugar intake is if the idea of it makes you feel resistance. Like you really don't want to do it. You know, like it will be too much work, or you wonder how you will get through the afternoon without a little sweet pick-me-up to keep you going. I know firsthand how that feels. We've all been caught in that sugar cycle at one time or another. It's hard to avoid in our grab-and-go culture, but cutting back is so worth it. Once you make that transition to a lower sugar diet, you'll feel so much better, you'll be amazed. Also, you'll be shocked at how overly sweet some foods taste once your taste buds get back to normal. Have you ever cut back on sugar and then eaten something sweet and it was just too much? Let me know below in the comments if you have. If you are on the sugar roller coaster, getting off it is truly liberating. One of the things that surprised me when I finally ditched the added sugar was how even I felt over the course of the day. I had more consistent energy, and also I generally felt more balanced. I even realized how much energy cycled up and then down and up each day. And then one day after about a week without added sugar, I realized how much calmer and less stressed I was. It was pretty wild. So, are you ready for the two different approaches that can take to get off sugar? Both work, but I'm definitely a fan of one versus the other. And here's the first way you can get off sugar, which I don't necessarily recommend, but I'll share it with anyway. Starting right now, right this minute, you rip off that Band-Aid and cut out all the added sugar starting right now. Just do it and get it done. Depending on how much sugar you normally eat each day, this could mean you have to ride out some of the cravings and fatigue. You might even feel like you are coming down with the flu for a day or so. You will have to rely on willpower if you go down this route, but it will get the job done. There's some value in it, but there are also quite a few negatives. A big one is that if you have one slip and eat something with added sugar, chances are you'll go right back to your old behaviors because you haven't had time to replace your old habits with newer ones. Now, habits are pretty major when it comes to sticking with your lower sugar diet or any other lifestyle changes. That's why I usually recommend an approach that's gentler on your body, creates new habits, and gets the job done, even if it takes a little longer. Basically, all you've got to do is cut back on your sugar intake over time, either over the course of a few days, or a week, or even 2 weeks. It's your choice. The first step is starting right now is to cut back the amount of added sugars you normally eat by half. So if you add sugar to your coffee or tea in the morning, start out by cutting the amount in half. That means if you put it in a teaspoon, cut that back to half a teaspoon. Gradually, you will cut back to using no sugar at all. A little at a time, all right? Little baby steps. You can add other flavors like things like cinnamon to help spice this up. It sounds weird, but it actually tastes really good. Plus, if you use, things like other cinnamon, it helps keep your blood sugar in balance. All right? You might even find yourself drinking less coffee than usual, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Secondly, cut back on sugary drinks like soft drinks or iced coffees or iced teas. Again, depending on how much you drink, you can start to drink half as much soft drink. I don't recommend using diet drinks or artificial sweeteners, but it absolutely must get rid of soft drinks. You can temporarily substitute one diet drink a day with the goal of getting off that as soon as possible. There is evidence that diet soft drinks can make you still have cravings, which defeats the purpose, right? If you miss having bubbles in your drink like the carbonation from soft drink, try using flavored sparkling water or those soda streams and add some fruit to it like strawberries or watermelon. It's actually very good and refreshing. Also, make sure you have plenty of fresh fruit around that you can grab whenever you start to crave a sweet treat. If you get a craving for something like a cookie, or grab that fruit instead. This does require willpower, but it doesn't take long for you to start noticing the benefits, and that's what it's really all about anyways. Making upgraded choices that you feel good about until those upgraded choices become your new normal and you don't even have to think about it. So are you ready for this? I hope so. I'm excited to hear how much better you feel in a few days once you start feeling the difference. It'll help you stick with the program. So are you willing to give it a go? Let me know in the comments below if you want to try this today and for the rest of the week. And if you haven't downloaded my new free ebook yet, it's about healthy snacks and appetizers. So if you haven't, comment or send me a message and I'll send it straight to you completely free. So that's it for now, guys. Hope you have an amazing day and talk soon.